Nesrin, tell me, how did it begin? How did the idea of civil services come to your mind?
Sir, I had a dream of civil services from a young age, especially from my sixth standard, because my one of my relatives had been into civil services exam, but he failed to get into it, and I got the idea of the civil services from him. And later, I also used to read newspapers regularly, and from that, I understood certain social issues are there in the country, and also, sir, I always had a kind of indulgence towards public services because I wanted to help the underprivileged people, especially when I went into post graduation and also in my college time. I witnessed many incidents in my college, and also I was into the NSS unit. So everything has made me realize that I could do well in public services. So that's why I chose civil services.
Right,
Sir.
right. So, Nesrin, tell me, so when did the preparation begin? How did you start it?
Sir, I completed my post graduation in economics in 2022. Then, after that, in July 2022, I started to prepare for civil services, sir. And initially, in my first attempt in 2023, I could not clear the prelims. And in my second attempt, I cleared this exam, sir. And I
Wonderful.
need to tell you that in the first attempt, I actually chose sociology as my optional, even though I had an economics background, because I actually did not do a proper research on uh, the optional side. Because right after my course, I joined the preparation, and there was a common myth that economics is not as scoring as other subjects. So I did not do a proper research, and I joined for sociology optional. And after that, after my first prelims, I understood that okay, I need to have a plan B, and I need to. I also had an interest towards Indian Economic Service, so I actually did the research in my second attempt, and I happened to see your video in YouTube, which actually explained the strategy and what is all the myths that is happening around the economics optional. And I also referred to many toppers copies. Then I understood, so like I was able to write because I have done 5 years of my learning in economics. So then in second attempt, I changed my optional to economics, and that actually helped me so much in this preparation, sir.
Absolutely. That is what it is a very important point you are making. That there are so many myths in the system that economics is a tough optional, you don't score in economics. And thankfully, you have proven them all wrong. You have done well in economics. And I think economics is an optional, which, this is one of the people have scored 335 also. But I always believe economics is an optional where if you are diligent, if you're willing to work a little, then I think it is one of the most scoring optionals among especially the humanities optionals. If you look at it, it is one optional that gives you a very regular scope of scoring a 260, 265. If you have done even normal study, like imagine this was your first serious attempt with economics as an optional, and you're already hitting a 260 odd, a little, I think exactly 260. So I think, next attempt we can see you around 300, no doubt about that. That is what my experience shows. It's a very important point that don't go by market myths, back yourself, and do subjects that are helpful to you. So tell me this: uh, when the first prelims did not happen, there must have been some satisfaction or disenchantment. How did you overcome that?
Uh, Sir, before starting the preparation itself, I had decided that I would give a series of 2 or 3 attempts in this exam because I wanted that do not want to get a regret later in my life that I did not prepare for this exam with my whole energy. So after the first attempt, I was okay that because it was my first attempt, I could not cover the syllabus or I did not focus on the priority topics. I did not do the PYQs completely. So what I did was I did a self introspection. So what was that making me fail in the prelims? So I understood that, sir. The most important thing was I lacked analytical ability, or the conceptual clarity was lacking in my side in certain subjects like environment and all. So I decided to uh, give more time for prelims, and I started to prepare for the second prelims in December itself, giving complete time for prelims. So that was the thing, sir. I did self introspection, and then I understood what were my weakness, and then I worked upon it. I also did more tests, sir, because I had a fear towards MCQs. I knew I can write well, but in MCQs I usually stumble upon. So I dedicated more time to solving more tests, etc. Sir.
Actually, a very important point you make. In fact, our video will now be coming out after this year's prelims exam. So some people may not qualify this year and they may be dissatisfied. But that is what I always tell the students. You exactly put the point that just introspect and check where the things went wrong and then improve upon it, and you are easily qualifying. The best part is that in your second attempt, you finish the whole journey at one go. So that is something quite commendable. So
Thank you.
listen, tell me one thing, that what all will you suggest for economics optional? How did you plan your studies?
Uh, Sir, right after my prelims in 2023, I switched my optional to economics. And from I learned from many of the YouTube channels and Telegram channels that it would take around 6 months to cover the syllabus. So since I was not in a financial situation to take a coaching that time, I decided to prepare myself. And there was also one of my friends who did who did post graduation with me. So we started to prepare together, sir. And first of all, what we did was we referred to many lectures, including yourself in the YouTube, which was available, the basic books, the syllabus, etc. So we went through the syllabus. Then the next thing was we took the toppers copies and checked whether if we could write it actually. So I understood that, sir, the theory part that we have learned in degree and PG, which would help us immensely. And from that, I got the confidence that said, okay, I can write it. And later, I referred to the PYQ, sir. So the PYQs where I could see a trend that if one year they're asking Harrow-Domar model, then next year they'll be asking Solo model. So there is actually a kind of repetition in PYQs. So I decided to focus on the priority topics first itself, sir. For instance, macro, micro, development, etc. has more number of questions. So I did the note preparation from my graduation and post graduation notes itself, and the remaining part I used the toppers notes at that time. Then I prepared a basic note for paper one till November. From July to November, I took for paper one itself. And for the paper two, I had only the time for preparing the notes of 1947 to 91 part. So only that was kept with me before the prelims. But actually, the change happened after I joined the economics advanced course just after my prelims in my second attempt. So in that time, I really understood I need to refine my notes because the notes I had was not that refined according to the syllabus. I had the notes like Harrow-Domar, etc., but it was not that refined, sir. So with your PYQ sessions, I understood that the notes has to be consolidated. So what I mostly relied in my before my mains was that I relied on your PYQ notes, which was provided by Next IAS. So it was actually a very good note because it contained all the things that was often repeated. And for this exam, this mains exam, also most of the topics came from the PYQs itself. So it was very easy for me to compile the notes I had and your PYQ compilations. And even before the mains, I referred to your PYQ compilations only, sir, mostly, and also the test series answer scripts that were shared with us. So that actually prioritizing the topics helped me immensely, sir, in this exam.
Yeah, thank you for saying this, Nesrin. And that is my idea that when I conduct the test series and the advanced course, my idea is that those of you who are not in a position to go for a foundation can at least go through this advanced course so that it makes sure that your learning ability and writing ability improves. And with test series, I was observing your writings and things. So I was actually, in the group, I would comment to my assistant that this person is writing well. So keep an eye and keep making me see this answer sheet, because you were actually writing well whichever copies you wrote. And I'm sure with PYQ that I advise to all students also, that past year question discussion, and unless you have not written the answers, you're never sure about how good you are with respect to the expressions you can have. One question I will ask you, Nesrin: how important it is to have correct choice of questions in the examination, especially
Yes,
economics optional paper one.
yes, sir. Sir, I do not have a edge in solving numerical questions. Even if I know to solve it, sometimes it goes wrong because of the stress that I have in exam hall.
Yes.
So what I did was that I usually do not attempt that part, sir. And I would be confident in topics like writing, like development economics. I studied in Hyderabad Central University, so we had more theoretical papers there.
Yes.
So I was more confident in writing those questions. So I wisely chose those questions, sir. And for the time management was major issue for me in the first test because I could not complete the paper in 3 hours. Then it took me around 4 hours to complete the paper and send for the first 2 or 3 tests. So what I did was that, sir, I divided the time. Accordingly, like 35 minutes for 35 to 40 minutes for the optional questions and the compulsory question, at most 30 to 35 minutes. And on selecting the questions, sir, I chose the questions wherein I know at least two, well,
Hmm.
very well. Because the third one, if I know something also, I would attempt that. Because if in the other option it is like, if it is one question I know very well and the two I know only a little bit, I do not attempt that questions. And I usually attempted where I know pakka two questions sure, and the other one where I do not know if I know something, sir. For instance, there was one question in Harrow-Domar model was question there in last main, sir. So in that also I know two questions sure, for sure, and the other one I know a bit only. So I managed with that two, and the other one I wrote with what I know, sir.
Yes, in fact, that is the right strategy because the paper is set in a manner where you may not be comfortable with all the three questions among the choice questions. It's always that is the right choice you made. That two questions, at least where you know two questions, well, attempt that. And third, if you write something, some marks will be given. Don't leave the paper blank. That is also important. In fact, friends, two things Nesrin has said, which is very important. Nesrin, you can correct me if I have misinterpreted. One is the importance of writing practice, that if you can do answer writing practice, and that is where, as she suggested, that she was with us in the economics advanced course and in the test series course. And her writing, as I told you, was doing well even before she had appeared mains. And second important thing that she said was keep your calm mind while attempting the paper so that you know very well that which are the best questions you can attempt. Because sometimes there is again a myth prevailing that if you attempt numericals, you will get more marks and so on. But I think that is not true. What is true is whatever you know well, if you attempt that, you get better marks per se in that, no doubt. And how was the GS preparation happening?
Sir, for me, I devoted most of the time for economics optional because this was my first mains. And
Yes.
you know that the diagrams are very tricky sometimes because we need to draw and draw. Like I used a lot of rough papers to draw all the diagrams, especially the ISLM models, etc. So I got only very less time for GS preparation, sir. Before the prelims, I had prepared basic notes for all the subjects, like GS1, GS2, GS3, and GS4. Then after the prelims, I joined the tech series in Kerala itself, sir. So there was daily answer writing going on in the institute. So we would go there and write the 5 or 6 PYQs there. So that helped me immensely to cover all the PYQs in the exam, and the answer queue was also provided. So then around 6 to 7 hours I devoted for optional, and the remaining 3 to 4 hours I devoted for the answer writing as well as revising my notes. Then I followed the test series also, sir, there religiously because reading the keys always helped me to staying back to the priority topics and revising them.
True, true. And how was the interview experience? A lot of economics asked, or was it gap based?
Sir, it was economics basically, but mostly there were very specific questions for me. For instance, the US sanctions that were imposed, the board asked me about the specific commodities. So I had my interview on the first phase, January 15th, I had the interview. So I did not get sufficient time to prepare as much as I wished.
I remember we
So
had talked 7, 8 days before that. And
yes, sir.
yes.
We talked, and like you said many questions, and some of them were repeated, sir. Especially the Kerala's unemployment situation, etc., were asked to me. But there was also this factual questions from their side, which I could not answer because of the lack of preparation I had during because I had in the first phase, sir. And nothing from the DAF was also asked, which I prepared very well. So that was that the score reflects also this, sir, because I had low marks in interview this year.
Yes. Okay. I'm sure you will improve massively from where you are, given that this was your first, I will say serious attempt, because I'm sure in the first attempt, many things were not learned well when prelims was not qualified. I think this was your first time that you seriously attempted the exam. And I'm sure one more attempt and marks will improve tremendously. Already you have qualified, so you have a job in your hand. And believe me, it's not that easy to qualify this exam. I've seen people attempting 4 attempts, 5 attempts, and good people, very good students, and you have done it very well. In economics optional also, I'm sure you would improve your marks. You're already above 260. I'm sure you will improve it much more in the coming days. So what will you suggest, Nesrin, to the future candidates? How should they prepare for this exam? What should be the beginning point?
So first of all, I would tell them to look at the syllabus well, and choosing the optional wisely, because what I made a mistake in my first attempt should not be made by them. Because people ask me now about economics optional. So what I tell them is that please do not go behind the myths that is there around us, because everyone will be saying economics is not that scoring. But I have seen papers where 295 was the highest at that time when I checked, sir. So there is scoring potential, and I also saw one DOPT's report that around 10 percentage passing probability is there for economics optional, compared to other optionals, sir. So I think first there should be a clarity on optional, and they should look upon the syllabus and PYQs along with the toppers copy, whether it is easy for them to do all these things. And secondly, sir, the PYQs is very important, especially in this year's prelims. Also, it shows that the PYQs is very important. So I think do not miss out on PYQs. Especially in my second attempt, I revised the PYQs from 2014 to 2023 twice. I did it, and again I revised, and especially from 2020 to 23, I revised it many times, which helped me very much in the prelims preparation. And also, sir, the GS part, the mains preparation is very important, because the notes that you should keep with yourself should be very much refined, because that will actually help you revise it more. And especially do not panic on essay and ethics, sir, because I got for ethics this time I got 132. So I focus more on ethics and essay, uh, because I know that would be life, or that would be a changing papers, the marks changing papers. So do not forget to focus on ethics and essay. And from the other side, the mental health and physical health should not be compromised, because I had certain health issues after my interview. So you should be always focusing on your health, and having good conversations with others, especially when we feel low. Otherwise, there are days when I cried a lot, around for 1 week or so. So there were people who supported me there, sir. So there should be good connections maintained, focus on the health, and have an idea regarding the exam, especially syllabus and PYQs is the crux, sir.
Perfect. You have actually summed it up very well. It is very true. Make sure that you this all-round holistic preparation, making sure that you take care of your health, making sure that your notes are crisp, made in advance, and you have most important. You said that do not get worried about economics optional. The system will worry you unnecessarily. I have been saying it for decade now. But economics optional is not a tough optional. What it needs is some diligence, and actually you will see in every year we have at least 4 or 5 people in top 100, one in top 10. That kind of thing is seen. So that's a very good decision you made, Nesrin. At personal front, I can tell you, I feel very proud of you. I know the hard
Thank
work
you,
you have
sir.
put in. That we have been talking for some time, and I play very. I feel very happy that there was some small part we could play in your success. So all the best, and I'm sure officers like you is what India needs a lot. All the best, Nesrin. I hope to hear
Thank you,
from you.
sir. Sir, I would say that it was not a small part that you played in my preparation. It was a very huge part, because I have told you that in my mains, even if I had very low marks in optional, then I would not have been in the list itself. So I'm very much grateful to you, sir, because I was very stumbled upon. Like, I do not know how to have a direction towards the mains exam in the optional paper. The PYQ sessions, I repeatedly saw that, I repeatedly read your notes. That PYQ solutions combined PDF was very much helpful, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, Nesrin. It's good that you say that. I feel humbled. Thanks a lot, and I hope to see you soon when you are in Delhi.
Sure, sir. I'll meet you, sir. Thank you.
Sure. God bless you. Bye bye.